Oh, yeah, see, that is what I forgot. The meeting will be recorded. Okay. All right, I see people are slowly joining the Zoom group. Welcome, everyone. We are waiting for everyone to join, and that might take a bit of time. So we could perhaps start with a very short introduction. Philiswa, do you want to maybe start?
Good to wake up and write.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining at this early hour on a Saturday. It's not easy, I think, on a Saturday morning to be up and writing. Really appreciate you joining. I see people are still joining. That is great. We will start with a very short overview of the workshop and a very short introduction, and then we will go into more detail. Philiswa, will you say something about yourself, maybe shortly?
Can you kindly mute yourself and enter the room? Yeah, my name is Lila. I'm a visual artist, multidisciplinary artist. I think I'll also give more details as we continue in our conversation and our writing. But yeah, I'm based in Pretoria. That's where I'm basically sitting in my space. And so I work across disciplines of painting, installation, and performance, and using mediums like stripskin, beadwork, found objects, paper, photography, and also writing. Yeah, I don't know what else Fouad is there.
Yeah, my name is Fouad. I'm originated from Germany. I've been in South Africa for a while. I'm a writer. And I've been writing with visual artists for a long time. I think with Philiswa, we've been writing since 2017, something.
Yeah.
So it's really a long time, and we're very glad to be invited by the Time of the Writer to present a bit of our work in this workshop. So perhaps to start, could we ask everyone to shortly put on your videos so we can see each other? We take cognizance that people have maybe not good data connection or load shedding, but just like for a short while to see faces is a nice thing. So I want to shortly introduce the workshop, give a short overview, and then we will get going. So we basically, the workshop is really, we really want to write a lot and talk less, which is difficult for me. But basically, we want to take you through the framing first, then we will do a very short free writing prompt. Then Philiswa will give us a longer input for a longer free writing. Then comes another input for myself. And later, around 9:35, we will go into subgroups, meaning then we can share experiences, observations, and reflections. And so before we start, I just want to give a very short kind of invitation. It's also an invitation to give yourself permission, to give yourself permission to write, to have the time for writing, to give yourself permission to write in any language, voice, or also to write something that cannot be read, to draw, to scribble, to scratch, to pencil down, or to use the pen and paper that we hope you have in front of you in any way. So this is really about more of exploring the lines between writing, drawing, between speaking, reflecting, note-taking as a very personal, but also as a very interpersonal activity. We use language to speak, we use writing for others to read. So it's also writing as reading. And before we maybe start, I would like to give you a short prompt for the first free writing exercise. A short remark on free writing: anything you write is for your eyes only. You won't be asked to read it out loud. And as I said, give yourself permission to write without any aim or reason. It's really something where you can experiment and do something you didn't do before. So this workshop is really about memory and touch. And so we want to really see how can we access memory and our senses in writing. So the first 5 minutes, we want to invite you just to feel into your writing, into your memory. You can remember things you saw or things you touched, or when you have touched something that was surprising, unusual, and the emotions connected. Remember sounds, movements, tastes, smells, anything. Go through your writing in your senses as you feel like. So both Philiswa and myself, we will write with you. And I will now mute myself for 5 minutes. The instruction is on the screen. It's very simple. Just feel your senses in your memory through writing for the next 5 minutes. All right, I would like to ask you slowly over the next half minute to find a place where you can close your free writing. Just allow yourself to find a point where you can stop this part of the writing for now, over the next half minute. So next, we want to shortly present Philiswa and myself our work by way of framing the workshop and what we will do together, and also pointing your attention to this moment of writing as also being together, although we are at different places and in different spaces or different parts of the country. It is a moment, a shared moment of attention. It's a shared moment of awareness and doing something together. And I think that's really also a sense also of memory. So I would like to ask Philiswa to give us a short overview and introduction of your work.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Philiswa Lila. Can you hear me? Audible. Okay. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, researcher, educator, and curator. So I did say I work across disciplines like painting, installation, and performance using mediums such as animal skin, which is sheep, goat, and cow skin, beadwork, wood, found objects, paper, photography, video, and creative writing or creative theorization. So in my practice, I am concerned with memory histories and theories of personal identities. I explore the multidimensional and intricate process of memory at work. Also cognizant of the fact that memory can be partial, selective, and also abstract. So my artworks are reflections of me, and I am a reflection of them. I navigate how memory has the ability to provide me with immediate access to past histories affecting my present. So I take both present and past and present as realities that perform to events that are performed or I perform in my everyday life, whether it's memories evoked, memories remembered, memories created, recollected, or continuously being recreated in my imagination. I also recognize that the narratives and details I choose to remember are part and parcel of telling stories, whether it's in having conversations, it's in reciting or remembering past stories that have been passed on from one generation to the next, or singing songs as stories. So to also use this creative reflection or recollection of stories through different sounds. So what I always like to do in my work is to play around with the idea of remembering and forgetting, or to remember something in order to forget it again, or to forget it to remember it again. So, and also remembering more like tearing things apart or dismantling some of the memories, or as they come, they also come in very abstract form and very dismantled on their own or remembered. This becomes a key guide in what, why, and how I share these memories in my studio practice. And as the personal and private become public, the creative process further reveals an unconscious state of my being. So by unconscious, I mean a state beyond myself in the physical, which means that I'm working with the artwork rather than working on an artwork. So I have a relationship and a bond with the material of choice. And what you see on the screen is mainly paintings, oil on canvas, and also some bit of mixed media. So these are based on the relationship that is very meditative. It's flow and a spiritual state. So I'd like to give you an example of just a short text that I wrote for the creative knowledge resources titled Navigating Memory in My Family Photo Album. So the essay is available online in the Creative Knowledge Resources website. So a photo album is an intimate object that plays an important role in the construction and image of family life. An album presents a visual narrative that can influence how a family is seen as well as moments in time and space. I came across a traditional family photographs that family album is the oldest owned by my family. New individual owned albums and other belonging to the entire family have been bought. All these are preceded by my recent discovery. The photo album lay dormant amongst personal diaries, picture books, novels, and art exhibition catalogs in a dusty cardboard box dismissed by my family as evidence of my hoarding. I held the photo album for a while, touching and opening its pages. I felt connected to memories on several levels of remembrance. I began to conjure up childhood scenes of home, the smells of umngqusho and mincemeat on a sunny afternoon, the sounds of Mhlobeni FM in the morning, squeaking over shiny copper floors and speckles of dust swept with the grass broom from the neighbor's yard. As my fingers trace the pages, I notice that the book tells me that it needs to be handled with utmost care. I feel my way from page to page, listening to where a deteriorating page could tear or risk being severed from its spine. My family photo album does not have photographs inside its pages. In a sense, the album is empty, but not devoid of the ability to communicate as a visual object. The absence of photographs is not the issue here, because the residues of human touch, stains, and traces left by the removed photographs provide me with items to look at and think about, to interpret the symbolic narrative experiences that attend to remembering and piercing memories together. Thank you, Fouad.
Thank you, Philiswa. And I think the audience can already see why I like working with visual artists. So before Philiswa starts with the first prompt, my work is about exploring language differently, growing up with a Palestinian father between basically Arabic and German, and now English. I explore writing in a way that is much more embodied and not so much making sense, but the moment of being in the writing. So this is also related to the topic, what we want to invite you for this workshop, that you take the space of the page and make it your own in whichever way you like. If you draw, if you write, scribble in any language, in your own language, this is your space. So I will ask now Philiswa to introduce the prompt for our 10 minutes free writing. And for anyone who joined, we will be doing free writing exercises. All the free writing is for your eyes only, and it's a very generous invitation to join a time of writing together.
So the first prompt is based on the idea of touch. Touch as an experience of contact or deep-seated joy, love, laughter, beauty. That is whatever is awakened in you when you think about a specific touch of an object, touch of person, like anything that you've come in contact with. How would you write about that? I'm also cognizant of the fact that there's unpleasant touch. So if you are able to explore that side of touch as well, it's also okay. You know, what are the things that you've come in contact with that have been unpleasant for you as well? So I want you to focus on either two, or you can create your own touch in your imagination. So as you draw, as you write, as you make lines and marks or make sounds, what is that touch that you're bringing to what you'll be doing. So I would like to name this touch, describe this touch, to embody this touch, to bring emotions, sounds, gestures, to this touch. So how to tell your body to remember or forget this touch? Do you want to hold on or let go of this touch? So you can also describe the textures of this touch, whether it's the sounds that have waves, that there are beats, there are hooks, there are silences in your touch. And then lastly, I think I wanted to explore repetition in this workshop. So if you can use repetition to your advantage, in either recreating, retelling, reconstructing, deconstructing, exaggerating, having a bit of humor in your writing or in your drawings, as you explore this of touch, and how, I don't know, the stories that you'll be telling will be shifting or being interwoven from one thing to the other. So yeah, so we give ourselves permission to write in any language, or in any form of drawing, any medium that you want to use. You can use your hands as well, touch the page and touch and feel the surface. And also writing is for your eyes only. There's no wrong or right way of writing or drawing in this workshop. So you can explore as much as you can. You can even go outside, and do a performance if that's how you feel. So yeah, without wasting any time. So yes, we can begin for 10 minutes of rewriting, tracing memory as touch.
Thank you. All right, I think we have another 1 minute or so, so I would like to ask you to slowly come to a close with your writing over the next half minute. Thank you, Philiswa, for the amazing input, sharing your works and your prompts. I'm sure everyone has deeply felt a different relation to the page as you were writing. And by way of now working in a more intimate setting, we thought we will move into subgroups for the next 15 minutes. And before I ask Bash to place ourselves into subgroups, it's basically about a very generous open forum where one group is facilitated by Philiswa, one by myself, where you can share, you can underline what you thought was interesting, surprising, painful, or fun or joyful, and then share perhaps a few moments of observation or a few parts of your writing. I don't know, Philiswa, do you want to add anything before we go into subgroups?
I just wanted to ask, can you do the second prompts, maybe the subgroups as well, if we have time?
I think, like perhaps we can ask for the mood of the group. And there is another prompt, but I thought for everyone to maybe decide, let's say, what about we decide in the subgroups? How do you feel? Do you want to have another prompt? I can put it on the screen, which could be done also in 5 minutes and then sharing, or if people are burning to share and to discuss. So I think we can leave it to the groups. The groups will be decided randomly by Bash. So yeah, and that will be for 15 minutes, about 15, 12 minutes. And then, yeah, we will see you in the large group at about 10 to 10. All right, as we wait for everyone to come back, settle in the, like a little time jump, these Zoom breakout rooms. We need to recover from these switches. Hi, everyone. Yeah, please, what do you think? You wanted to use the last 5-10 minutes to share, to open up?
Yeah, we can continue doing that. Then I was still asking me, do I use, because I showed my drawing and what I did for the writing prompt, was, do I always use, what was it when do I always use my senses? All senses when I'm writing. It was my first time actually writing and drawing with this one. So I was drawing, let me just give others context. So I made a drawing thinking about myself as I get older, my face more especially. So I was thinking about the marks on my face, like the wrinkles and the textures and how it would feel. And as much as the textures are prominent as you get older, your face is wrinkling out. But the touch, the sense of touch that I got was a softness that is like baby skin, at the same time. So even if I'm looking at myself in the mirror and the face is wrinkled up, but the touch itself is very soft. So yeah, it was my first time that I'm writing and drawing. Usually I would do the same process when let's say I'm painting and I'm holding a brush or doing beadwork. then I will speak. I will have this conversation. It's either I'm recording them or just speaking as and as I am I'm with the material that I'm using, or as I'm with the artwork that I'm in front of. So yeah, it's something I do even, you know, when you speak about your own touch, somebody touching you in a certain place. What if it was you touching yourself in that certain place? How do you feel when you touch yourself in those certain places? What is that feeling like? Can you give yourself that same feeling, and even beyond how this other person is touching you? What if they were to move further, but you take yourself further, you know? Yeah, what would that be for you? Yeah.
Can I say something?
Please
Yes.
do.
Yeah, it was lovely what you just said. It just kind of immediately resonated. And funnily enough, when I was writing about touch, which I felt the second writing prompt to be quite challenging because there's also some trauma there for me. I try to work my way towards the happy touch quickly. So then I was writing away from another memory, which I'll try to revisit some other time. But it was exactly this sensation of I have my daughter and the softness of her own skin. She's a young girl, and when she touches me, my skin is rendered soft and young as well. Because I was also writing about what you just talked about, Philiswa, but aging and my wrinkled, not not so plump, fresh skin anymore. But when she touches me, it becomes that, you know. And so I'm intrigued by what you just said about what would happen if I touched myself in the same place, but also in the same way, sensing that and writing from there. Yeah.
I can report back from our group, we had the most inspiring conversation around remembering as speaking to the cracks of history and of spaces. I don't know if anyone from the group wants to share a moment of their reflection. We have a few minutes left, so it's not. So by way of also thinking that we are actually also doing in the middle of something that's like an ongoing conversation, right? Like I heard many of you are writers, artists, and working through senses, memory, recollection. I also want to say in a way, it's also an invitation for joining the conversation in future places, and we can ask Time of the Writer to send out our contact. You can find us also in different places to do our work. We did a collaborative publication with the Creative Knowledge project where we wrote together a text. It's called The Love of Writing. So it's really about you being, if you feel like reaching out, if you feel like continuing the conversations, we are happy to continue and speak. If anyone has last comments or questions, please, because I think we should finish at 10.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your comments. Yeah, but we'll hear from you. The last word is from you.
I'm actually feeling very inspired to write right now. So I think I'm going to spend the next half an hour trying to write something.
Yes, and thank you for that wonderful invitation. I would so much like to stay in touch, pardon the pun. So I will follow up on that for sure. Thank you so much for this session. It's lovely to see all of you and to hear all of you.
So yeah, we do basically writing groups every Friday from 11 to 1, and they are optional, open, so you can join or not. They are just an open door in the internet space. And so people come or not, and there's no RSVP there's no real aim behind this, but to have like an hour or two to just talk about writing or write together. Good to see you, Bogiwe. Also great to see artists who are working and writing. Bogiwe also has been part of the writing group for a long time. So please, if you feel like, you can also ask, I think, the time of the write-up. If I don't know, Philiswa, if you want to share your details for future collaborations.
Yeah, you can, the time of a writer can share details, can be by email, can be social media. I do try to respond to social media as well. So yeah, but emails are fine. And I think the main space, it's the writing group as well, if you would like to see how we engaged. And we also meet physically if you're in Joburg, around Pretoria, and all of that. So if you have your own ideas, we are very open to coming to your event. You can even have a workshop with us as well. So if you have any ideas, please let us know, and then we'll show up. Thank you.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, again, thanks everyone for
Sure.
joining, generously writing, sharing with us. It was really an amazing experience. And perhaps for a last short moment, if you could, and those who are on low data, don't mind, open your video and say bye to everyone. You can also unmute if you like.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Thank you, guys.
everyone.
You can enjoy
your
writing.
And enjoy also the rest of the festival.
Yes.
Mhm.
It was really good to meet you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.